What's up, everybody? Need to grab my mic. It is 4:20, and when we were just chatting right before this, I was had something in my eye, and then I went and itched it. It was already red. Now it looks more red, and it's 4:20. And I swear to you all, I have not been waking and baking on 4:20. I I don't consume marijuana, but it is a hilarious coincidence. Anyway, good to see you all on 4:20, and I've got coffee. It's the opposite. So um, anyway, we've got an awesome guest coming on today. And we first had a Wake Up Legendary show way back, long time ago. And he was crushing it. And he has made a massive resurgence again, and he's just been a consistent force in our uh, both like Facebook groups, but also in our affiliates group. And he, for us, is somebody who's hit six-figure ranks in our affiliate program, which is very cool. As a full disclaimer and disclosure, you do not have to be an affiliate to buy our courses or to go through our training or anything like that. We don't have any requirements like that. You can use our training for any niche or any industry. And Josh, for us, he fell in love with the course, fell in love with the product and community, and has really made a lot of money and changed his life completely. So I don't know how many times this dude's been on, but Josh, how many times is this?
I think this is the fourth time now since
Holy
2020. So
shit.
yeah.
Cool, man. That's
Yeah. And
awesome.
thanks for having me back again.
Of
Excited to
course,
be here.
anytime. And for those of you who are maybe newer, or for those of you who are like first time to the show, we have guests on every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Josh has been on a couple times. And for anybody who's been on before, if you want to reach out back to us, we'd love to have you back on again and hear some updates. Josh, for those of us, or for the people out there who maybe didn't hear the first go around, tell me a little bit about you, your journey online. I know now you're kind of in a place where you're getting a house built, you're semi-homeless,
Yeah.
but tell us a little bit about your
Semi-homeless. That's a good way
journey
to put it.
online.
Yeah. So it's been a heck of a ride, to say the least. It's been a lot of ups and downs for me specifically, for our family specifically. And, there's something I'll probably share with you in just a minute, but there's something I shared with Dave at the virtual mastermind. He literally stopped me dead in my tracks in the middle of the presentation. It was like, wait a minute. He's like, I had no clue about that in your life. So I've been with Legendary I first got introduced to the training at the beginning of 2020, I think. So little
Yeah.
over 2 years now.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
like 80 years in internet marketing years.
yeah. And it's funny because, there's been all kinds of ups and downs and different things happening, and, different programs that come out and people that reach out to you and want you to do different things. And for me, it's been a no brainer. I wandered off one time, like I think most people do. They kind of, you
Yeah.
know, get shiny object syndrome a little bit, even when things are working. And, I wandered off one time and I realized, it wasn't what I thought it was. And it didn't make sense for me to promote anything that, I didn't use myself, like the training helped me. So now I can go out and be an affiliate. And it's really easy for me to communicate to people, how it can help, how it can impact them. And, for me, it hasn't even really been a question about, what I'm going to promote or what I'm going to do. So it's been
Yeah.
a fun 2 years to see everything that's gone on, and how you all just kind of you're right there, and it's just over and over again. Whenever I start seeing other things, it's like, oh, look who's standing at the end. So it's,
Well, it's just, yeah, I mean, I guess it's just been like a little interesting to me, and just that, over, um, I think over the span of quite a few months, and even the last year and a half, it's been I have a lot. I have a pretty standoffish approach with just like, for instance, I do a lot of affiliate management. I have a pretty standoff approach with people just promoting whatever they want. Like it's not our job to really try to get in the lives of people like that. But it has sucked over the last, year, if I'm like really honest and transparent, where, um, people have not been conned, but just people have been kind of persuaded to try out and promote different things, and some of those were just kind of bad offers. And I wish I had done a better job, not because it hurt us necessarily, but because I know other people's businesses got sort of hurt by that because they started promoting offers that, look, they might have had the best of intentions in the world, but even when I sat down and looked at the offers, I was like, oh, you know what? They just don't know how to craft offers,
Yeah.
They just don't know how to put together a good offer that's going to serve their affiliates well. And that's a big one, is just, you might have the best comp plan. You might have, 85% commissions, all of this stuff, lifetime commission, all this stuff, two-tiered commissions. And then the offer just sucks and the product
Yeah.
sucks. And it's like, shit, you know? And I
It
feel bad because there's people who, I mean, their businesses took a huge hit. And, anyway, I'm
yeah.
glad that you kind of came back and that didn't have too big of an impact on you and your business.
Yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things. It was hard to see. I know around probably last year around this time, maybe June, July type of time. There was a big program that was introduced from a big name in the market, and I saw one girl specifically. I won't mention any names or anything like that, but I saw one girl specifically who was probably one of the fastest to the platinum rank with legendary ever, if not the fastest, and got shiny object syndrome and went from having this business that's literally life changing to, I haven't heard from her ever since. It's like she dropped off the face of the earth. So, you
Yeah.
know, it's just, it's sad to see, unfortunately. You can go out, promote whatever you want, right? But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like, you're building a message, you're building a story, around yourself and around, the product that you're promoting at the end. And if that's changing every day or every so often, like you're never going to build any trust with anybody. So
Sure. Yeah. Well, the nice part is, though, it's a long, long game, and
yep.
life is long. And that person and any other people that I saw that happen to, the beautiful part about this industry, unlike what a lot of people say about it, a lot of people say, you create some videos on TikTok, that's your whole brand, and you might tarnish your brand forever. That's a bunch of nonsense. I mean, people reinvent themselves online like that, and the rest of the world is happy to watch you do it.
Yep.
The rest of the watching world doesn't give a shit about, if you suddenly delete your TikTok with 50,000 followers and start over tomorrow and grow an audience and change your name and move across the world. It's just like, who's that guy? I don't know. There's billions and billions of people online. Who cares?
Yeah.
So I think that should give people permission not to go out and scam people, but it should give people permission to try out new things. And I think, I've seen a lot of people, for instance, Andre Yermajev, who's also like you, a six-figure affiliate. He got his entire Instagram poof gone. And I think it was either just a little before a mastermind or so I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just found that to be so interesting
Yeah.
because he there's a lot of people that I've watched who that's just crushed their business, just destroyed it. And I don't want to make this out to be this kind of thing where we're trying to say, if you go out and promote something else and your business takes a hit, that it's all over for you. That's not the message. The message is,
No.
find a good winning offer. If it takes you a couple of tries, that's cool. But find a good winning offer, and when you find one, realize what you've got, and
Yeah.
make sure to hook your train to a winning offer, because that's really big. So, okay, Josh, tell us a little bit about the first stage of your journey as an affiliate. and then there was a little kind of blip in the road, and then
Yeah.
tell us about this second piece and kind of walk us through that journey as an affiliate.
Well, it's actually kind of like 3 pieces now, and,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned Andre, and I really identify with him and kind of his story as well, because what happened to him on Instagram happened to me on TikTok, actually,
Okay.
twice now. So, I built in 2020, I was a part of the program, and I finally realized. So, a little further back than 2020. Initially, I was introduced to digital marketing, and I thought I wanted to be like an online fitness coach, and I was going to build a funnel and do the whole fitness influencer thing and have my own coaching and consulting program. And I tried different MLMs in the fitness industry, and it just never really worked out. I was never really all the way in with it. And I was actually, it was funny. I tell this story a lot, but it was funny. I was scrolling Facebook on purpose, trying to get hit with an ad that I had seen in the past because I wanted to model my fitness coaching business after this ad. So I was trying to funnel hack it. And so in the middle of all of it, here comes Dave Sharpe on my screen. I get hit with a different ad, and I get sucked in. I get sucked into the
Oh,
thing
wow.
completely, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm really identifying with this guy's story. Like, what is this that he's teaching? Like, this makes way more sense. Like, I don't even want to do fitness coaching anymore. I want to do what this guy's doing. And so I joined the
Wow.
challenge, and everything just kind of clicked for me from the start. I was like, it all made sense, and it was like it clicked, and it was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I've been struggling online for a couple years now. Nothing really makes sense. I can't figure out how to put everything together. And yeah, he mentioned in the ad that I think he refers to it kind of as freelance digital marketing, which
Yeah.
affiliate marketing at the end of the day, same thing. And I was like, man, that makes perfect sense. I don't have to spend all this time trying to create my own products. Anyway, so I went down the rabbit trail, purchased the challenge, fell in love with everything. It all made sense. And then just a couple months later, as I'm really putting everything together and my business is kind of live and starting to go live, you all did a TikTok challenge. And I was like, well, I've never really heard of TikTok. I know there's like 12-year-olds that dance on this app. And I was like, well, I don't I don't really have any other traffic right now. Let me see what's going on. And so sure enough, I posted like 4 or 5 TikToks, and all of a sudden I had one like go viral during the middle of the challenge. And I went from like no business to like what the heck happened? I didn't even know what was going on at the time. So that was my first experience with TikTok, and it took off really, really quickly. And I built that first account to about 70,000 followers. And that's where poop kind of hit the fan for me, so to speak. And this is something I revealed to Dave in the community that was part of that virtual mastermind. It was not something that I'm proud of, but I was building the business behind my wife's back. Like, there was zero communication with my wife about what exactly I was doing and what I was getting into. And she's at work one day, and the girl that watches our kids watches them at her work at the time.
Okay.
And she goes into my wife's office and goes, "I didn't know your husband was TikTok famous." And my wife was like, "I didn't know my husband was TikTok famous either." And
That's
so
hilarious.
so that was kind of a turning point where I actually, after a couple months
Yeah.
and a lot of success real quickly, I gave up my entire business. I stopped working on it for about 8 months. um, my wife and I went in and out of counseling. We worked
Mm.
on our marriage. We got our relationship in a spot, where we wanted it to be, where it was on the right track. And then a year later, around this time in 2021, I relaunched my business. I relaunched a brand new TikTok account. Was able to grow that one from April to about June, July-ish time. Grew it to about 205,000 followers. And then
Jeez.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just boom. They were like, "You're done. Your account, you're banned. It's over. Like, you can't do TikTok anymore." So anyway, I got my account back. But what happened was, it was the infamous, shadow ban that everybody talks
Ah,
about. Got the account back, and never hit the For You page again. Like, I just
wow.
couldn't get new traffic, couldn't get anybody new. And so I restarted my TikTok yet again. um, And, I did it at the time as kind of just an experiment before my 205,000 follower account got shut down. I just happened to start another one as kind of an experiment. And I was like, well, let me see if I can do this again. I'm going live every day telling people like, oh, you don't need a following. Like you could start from zero at any time and you could build the thing the right way. And, you're in a better
Yep.
position than I am at 0 followers because you can build your audience. You don't need a ton of followers. And so I'm saying all this stuff to my audience every day. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I had a moment where I was like, do I even really believe what I'm saying? Or have I just said it so many times that it comes naturally now? And so I started it as an experiment and I was like, look, I'm going to see if I can do this again. And sure enough, I've followed exactly what I have been telling everybody. And, I've got another TikTok account now almost a year later, and we're at like 185,000 followers, I think now. So it's been a lot of a lot of starting over, a lot of learning, and a lot of roadblocks, a lot of setbacks. But it's kind
Yeah.
of like Andre. When the first thing happened with my wife and I, like I could have stopped then and never got back to it. When it happened, with the
Sure.
TikTok account the second time after some pretty good success, I should have quit then, right? But didn't.
Right. Right.
You just keep going, and you got to fight through adversity. And I think that's kind of the message that I really want to communicate now with my story is like, look, it's not always going to be perfect. Yeah. You're going to see a lot of the highlight reel type of stuff, a lot of, the call outs in the legendary group and like for the success that's happening and that type, but it's not all rainbows and butterflies. In fact, I would say it's probably 90 to 95%, like struggle and trial and error and learning in continually figuring out how to grow and move forward. And then a very little bit you get to experience the success. But, and I think I've really kind of embraced that. And it's all part of the journey for me now. It's like, what roadblock am I going to run into now? It's never perfect. You just got to figure out how to keep going and keep moving forward. So,
Totally, totally. There's this period of for a lot of people of just rapid growth, right? Just rapid, fast growth, and then I feel like, man, you just articulated that so well. Once you're at, let's say, high five figures, six figures, maybe you're making five figures a month or something. For a lot of people, they assume that everything is just unicorns and rainbows. But most people are functioning at a high level of stress anxiety without that money and without that income and without that business. And the moment that business enters into their life, I mean, it shakes shit up, and suddenly the anxiety of keeping that and maintaining that for a lot of people becomes too much and they end up quitting, which people think I'm crazy for even saying that, but it's the truth.
yeah.
A lot of people end up they're just like, dude, honestly, I'd rather just go back to my job because this is a hell of a lot of work. And it becomes every day, the thing sometimes in people's heads becomes less motivating and inspiring. And it becomes more of like this, oh man, you thought you were a failure before. Well, what if you piss away a six-figure income online? What'll that say about you, right? And
Yeah.
and I think that game for me became really like intense and just I remember early on and when I first discovered internet marketing and stuff, that became so overwhelming. It often stopped me from success, but or even from really earning anything. I would it was just crazy. But I
Yeah.
thought that the way you worded that was really important. Um, because I think for a lot of people, when they hit that point where you're at, the way you worded that makes me assume that you're starting to get to a place where you're now figuring out the rhythm of that type of a business. And as somebody figures that out, that's where they break into more of like a career as an entrepreneur. And it almost shifts from like entrepreneur to like just kind of operator, owner, business manager. And that becomes, I think for people, it becomes a little bit more like, and it allows the brain space to open up and sort of, okay, I've got my business going now. I can operate this. I can keep this going. It's not going to fall apart overnight. I've kind of figured out the algorithm. I figured out how not to get blocked or banned as much. I figured
Yeah.
out how to tap into my email list. I figured out like little things to do, right? And then over time, that game becomes a little bit easier. And not to say that it's never going to happen. I mean, Calvin Hill gets blocked or banned with 1.3 million followers all the time, right?
Yeah.
Um, everybody does. It happens to everybody in every niche in every industry. But I think that once you get into that headspace, it becomes a bit more of like a little routine. Things start to feel a little more like a job, and things feel a little more familiar, as opposed to just the nonstop chaos that is this startup entrepreneur thing. And that's cool. I just wanted to affirm. I feel like it's cool to see you like in that place, because maybe you don't have it figured out perfectly, and I don't know
No,
if anyone
I
ever
mean, and
really
nobody
does.
does, right?
Yeah, but in that process, I feel like you got it pretty well figured out, and that's really
Yeah.
cool to see, man.
Yeah, for me, it's like, you just got to pay attention to what works and what doesn't work. And, I've identified in my business and in my messaging, what works, and what I can go back and look at is, these times where the business is going like this. It's like, okay, I'm doing XYZ at this time. Now business starts to flatten out a little bit. And it's like, well, am I still doing the things that put me on this trajectory, or am I,
Mm,
scatterbrained everywhere trying to figure out the next thing? And it's like,
right.
it's a really simple formula. Honestly, it's like, for me, TikTok is the platform that I've chose. And,
Mm.
when all these other people were running away from TikTok last year, it's like you had I don't remember if it was in the blueprints or if it was a wake up legendary call, or what it was, but you talked about the life cycle of social media. And
Oh, right.
that really just stuck with me, because last year, around August, late July, early August, Instagram, that's kind of when Andre started popping off on Instagram, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, TikTok is rest in peace,
Over.
TikTok. It's all done. It's over, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there, I've got content on my pages that say, hello, you all are missing out on a massive opportunity right now. Like, all of these people, all of these creators are running to different platforms, having shiny object syndrome. And, great. If you want to repurpose your content, that's fine. But if you've got something working on a platform, don't run away. I'm like, because the traffic is going to come back to TikTok. And you know what? The more people that fall for it and run away to the other platforms, the less the competition goes down on TikTok. And I'm trying to explain this to people, like, right now is the perfect time to get involved with TikTok. You did not miss the boat. Like, it is still the perfect time, especially when people are running away. And sure enough,
Yep.
what happened was I believed what I was saying. So I was sharing it with everybody, and I was doing it in my own business. And then late November hits, December, early January, that like 6 week time frame, my business exploded in a way that I had never seen, because I stuck consistent with the TikTok platform. And,
Right.
so I don't
Bingo.
even remember where I was going with that, but I went off on a little bit of a
No,
rabbit
dude.
trail. But I'm like,
So
that's,
you referenced this, and I wanted to pull this open because that's a really good analogy.
yeah,
And this was a live that we did about 4 weeks ago, March 23rd. And I'll put it in the chat for anybody who's watching right now. But you can just go to our Facebook fan page and look at March 23rd Wake Up Legendary, and you should watch this, because this is something I call the nonstop social cycle. And what Josh is talking about is, these Instagram became really hot, and everybody, oh my God, Instagram, oh my God, TikTok's dead, it's over, and people started freaking out. But the truth is that these platforms go in kind of cycles of virality.
yeah,
And, right now, people who are listening to this right now, you're going to hear a lot more about Facebook Reels over the next probably
yeah,
3 months or so, because people are just getting jammed with leads and followers from Facebook Reels right now. And then it's going to be something else 3 months after that. Maybe Pinterest goes through that huge realm, which you're already on Pinterest. But
yeah,
the point is that sticking with a platform, even through maybe a lull or something like that, means that once that platform makes a tweak in their algorithm, or starts capturing more attention, or there's a viral moment on social media about some video on TikTok or something like that, it doesn't really matter what it is, but you're ready for it because you're not catching up every time. You're
Yeah.
already there. You're already creating content. Yeah, I think that's super.
You know, the reality of the situation too, at least from my perspective, is these other social platforms, you know, they're all fighting for life. Like TikTok came in and did something that I don't know if any other social media platform has ever done this, but it might have been, you know, similar to Instagram back in, you know, 2010, 11, 12, whatever it was when they, you know, became the big dog. But TikTok has done something. And the reason all of these other platforms now have, you know, vertical video is to catch up with TikTok and to catch up with what TikTok is doing. And they're all fighting for life. And what people don't realize is, yeah, the algorithm, you know, came strong on Instagram Reels. It's strong on Facebook Reels right now. But the
Yep.
reality is they're just catching up to the level that TikTok is already at. So as long as TikTok keeps innovating, TikTok is going to be a step ahead of everybody else for this foreseeable future. And like you said, when the algorithm comes back on TikTok, those who stay consistent and, you know, stick with it through the low periods are going to be greatly rewarded. And then all of a sudden the other platforms are going to slow down and they're going to be like, okay, how do we stay relevant? How do we catch back up to TikTok? Because TikTok is the #1 downloaded app every single day on the App Store. And it is it's past YouTube. It did months ago for most watch time, week over week, month over month. There's more people coming on TikTok every single day. You know, people are like, oh, TikTok, it's saturated. There's a red ocean. I'm like, you cannot have a red ocean and saturation on something that's growing that quickly. Like every single day, especially
Impossible.
people my age, people your age, people Dave's age. There's people in buying ages that are coming on that platform every single day. And it's
That's right.
like, you know, it's for some reason people just panic, you know, traffic slows down and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, TikTok's done, the opportunity's over. And I'm like, you know what? To me, yeah, I don't even think it's close to peaked yet. I think we're just
No.
scratching the surface still on TikTok. And, you know, if you've been waiting to start on TikTok, like get started now. And the cool part is, you know, you can
Yep.
make content on TikTok. You go to, you know, one of those websites like snaptik.app and you know, you remove the watermark and you go post that on all the other social platforms if that's what you want to do. But you know, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like TikTok is still, you know, they're growing the way they are for a reason. So
Yep. Totally. And everybody who's I've been it's just I don't know, it's crazy to me. We've been saying this for 2 years now. Basically, I remember saying this like summer of 2020 that, you know, I said something to the effect of every person who hears us talk about the opportunity that's on TikTok right now to grow an audience will be kicking themselves in a couple of years if this opportunity on TikTok doesn't exist anymore the way that it does today. And I don't know if this is ever going to end. I have no clue. I've been a little bit shocked that it's stuck the way that it has. Because I mean, even for people who have said, you know, that this TikTok thing is going to die out or slow down or something. I mean, there's just even to the degree that we saw in late 2020, 2021, man, maybe it's like 5% less or 10% less, but I'm not really sure it is. I'm
yeah,
still watching people go from 0 followers to hundreds of thousands of followers in like 30, 60, 90 days. And for anybody who's really willing to go crazy and be really, really, I, I don't know if this is the right word, but kind of psychotic about like mastering that platform. I mean, whew,
yeah,
yeah, I just wish I could communicate. The sky is kind of the limit on that. So
yeah. Well,
Nina
and the
says,
fun part
yeah,
too.
you're great. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say the fun thing about TikTok too is people don't realize like I've got those two other accounts, you know, that don't get any For You page traffic or very, very limited. Like I can't grow a new audience really. Um, but what happens is, you know, they're still just sitting there. I've still
Yeah.
got links on those, and every now and then, like from my channel that had 205,000 followers, it's down to like 195,000 now a year later. But what happens is I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm still getting sales from that. Like, probably, you know, it's only a handful every single month, but still, it's like I see the tracking tag come in and I'm like, huh, okay, cool. So if people, you'll hear from like the SEO experts out there that all, everybody's launching a new SEO program now too. That's like, this is the real way to do affiliate marketing. And yeah, you can do SEO, but there's no real way. Okay. In
Right.
TikTok, they catalog things now. They're making a
Mm.
transition towards what Google does and what the SEO experts are telling you about these other platforms. TikTok
That's
is
right.
transitioning that way. So if you have a piece of TikTok content out there, don't ever delete it, okay? Unless your post gets removed for community guideline violations, that's the only time you should ever delete it, because with
Mm.
TikTok cataloging all their content now, you might have something that you created a year ago, and now all of a sudden, randomly, it kind of revives a little bit, and it's driving traffic to your affiliate offers, to your
Mm.
websites, and you're like my account from 2020 got me a sale last month. I haven't done anything. I haven't even logged. I didn't even know that still existed. I had to like go
Wow.
research and figure out like what was going on. So
Jeez.
anyway, like don't people again, the message I think is clear from me. Like, just don't panic. Don't fall for the next shiny object. The
Right.
next guru thing telling you that TikTok is dead. And further proof to that is you look at the advertisers, right? I know this is kind of next level, and a lot of people, watching the show may not know a whole lot about advertising, but you look at the advertisers, and they're all leaving. They're all panicking from Facebook. They're leaving Facebook. Nobody wants to run Facebook ad. Well, I mean, people still want to run them because they're profitable, especially if you know how to do it. But a
Yeah.
lot of them see the opportunity on TikTok is like, hey, TikTok's going to be around. They're inviting more advertisers onto the platform. In
Yep.
these businesses, these companies, they're running TikTok ads and getting incredible results. So it's like,
Yep.
to me, it's simple. The more advertisers that go there, the more people that download the app every single day. Like it's here to stay, people. Like, don't panic. Don't
Yeah.
panic. Like, I'm all for repurposing your content. And maybe you're brand new, you want to focus on Facebook Reels right now. That's awesome. But don't miss the opportunity that is TikTok, because it's still here, it's still strong, and I don't think it's going anywhere. So
It's definitely not.
yeah,
It's definitely not. Yeah, it's yeah, that's a good message, right? If you gravitate towards one platform, or if you like a certain platform most, just make sure that you're on all of the other ones,
yeah,
especially if you're just creating the content to start with. And I think creating the content initially on TikTok is the easiest, especially for people just getting started. Just the
I
actual
agree.
production of it, it seems like it's the easiest.
Yeah,
So the other thing though is, on Facebook, the thing that I've been telling people recently, and this is just my opinion, but I think that on Facebook, um, there's a really big opportunity right now because Facebook sort of figured out how to turn reels pretty viral, and then how to take the reels and turn them into followers. So most people don't know this, but recently, maybe just in the last month, people are growing humongous amounts of followers to their pages or profiles or whatever, through Facebook Reels, and it's all just repurposed TikTok content. And that kind of happened on Instagram, but I think what didn't happen on Instagram is that is the transition from organic content to followers. And it didn't happen to the degree that it happens on TikTok. Like you get
yeah,
a million views on a TikTok video, you're gonna have 50,000 followers, or maybe more. Um, and but on Facebook recently, they figured this out, and the benefit there, I think, of kind of cross pollinating, and maybe having your TikTok followers, hey, go find me on Facebook or follow me on Facebook too, or get your email list. Hey, by the way, do you follow me on Facebook? Is you can
yeah,
post images, you can post long story posts that are written word where people can actually read, and you can engage people in multiple different ways: video, written, image. You can get them on your email list, and then you're everywhere. No, it doesn't
yeah,
matter what social media app they open. It's like they open and they see Josh. and they go to TikTok and there's Josh, and they go to YouTube and there's Josh. And it's just like, damn, and eventually they don't even have to consume all of your content, but at some level, like the 10th time that they see you, it's like if you put something in front of them, they're just like, this guy's everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's a certain level of trust that comes with that. As opposed to if I just see one of your videos on TikTok and I happen to see it and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, whatever, and I never see you again. It's like, well, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know that person. They're probably a scammer. I don't know. But if I see you everywhere, here's the big takeaway that many people don't know. Not only am I more likely to buy something, I'm also more likely to become a lifetime customer of Josh. And then also I'm more likely to become the lifetime value of me as a customer is likely to be higher. I'm more likely to purchase higher ticket products from Josh because I now have this sort of inherent trust. He's everywhere. And if he's everywhere and all of his followers aren't saying, man, this guy really sucks, he's a loser, he scammed me out of thousands of dollars or something like that, like, okay, I'm generally probably going to trust the guy. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Well, no, it's funny that you say that because I created a Google form and I just wanted to get like a survey and kind of gauge my audience to kind of see where they're at. And I've got an email list now of 3,000 plus subscribers where my open rates are above 100%. So it's funny that you say that because one of the questions that I asked, I was talking about, what it would look like for them to get, additional coaching from me. If people wanted me to kind of like do my own coaching thing on the side, like for people that needed mentorship or something like that, I just wanted to feel out my audience and kind of see some of their pain points. And what I realized was two things. I have an email list of 3,000 people who literally open everything I put out there, that are just waiting to see the next thing that comes, that are highly interested in whatever I put out there. And then the other thing, I asked a question. I'm like, I listed off, I think it was four or five different affiliate programs, including the Legendary Marketer 15-Day Challenge, and then some other things that teach similar affiliate marketing. And I asked, how many of you have ever even heard of this? In about 60, I think it was 66 or 68% of the people that responded to that survey had never even heard of the main thing that I was promoting. So it showed me that not only do I have a huge audience of people who I could put out something tomorrow and they would buy it. I could promote something else tomorrow, they would buy it. But there's also a massive portion of that audience who still, they follow me, they follow my content, but they haven't interacted for whatever reason it is with the main offer that I'm promoting. So it's like, I need to keep emailing my list. These people need to keep hearing from me. And eventually, like you said, it might take 8 times, I say 7 times because that's, statistically people need 7 interactions with your brand or your company before they trust you enough to buy. But it just shows you the amount of opportunity. And this is what I spoke on at the virtual mastermind is like, especially affiliate marketers, a lot of us don't pay attention to what Matt and Dave say every single day. Like, your email list, that is your asset. And there's so many people just sitting on your email list waiting to hear from you, and you're not taking advantage of it. And so to me, it was like, man, it was confirmation that what I spoke on at the mastermind, like I'm on the right track, but I need to be emailing more because there's 68% of these people that still don't even know what Legendary is, and I promote it hard every single day. Like, how are you following me and don't know what it is? So
no, totally. And people, what happens is marketers, they get in their own heads and they get on a bunch of email lists, right? And they go through this process and it's hard and they're overwhelmed, and so they get a little bit jaded to marketing, and they start to hate getting all of these emails. This is what happened to me. I was like, I fucking hate getting all these emails every day. And then they assume or they project their own feeling onto their email list. And they say, wow, they're probably really sick of hearing about this offer all the time, or they're really sick about hearing from me all the time. But the truth is what you have to do as a marketer is you have to go back to the initial, and here's what Richard Lewis just said, the initial pain points And you have to remember what the initial very beginner level pain points are, and you've got to keep reconnecting to those. So, if you're in the dog training niche, you have to go back to you can't take your expert level knowledge and just only talk about that and assume that people don't care about the basic level heel or the sit or the stay or anything. Those are the things people care about most. They just want to know how to do the very basics. And if you can share with them some real basic shit, then maybe you can then sell them on some private coaching or some dog boarding or something like that, right? Where it's higher ticket stuff, but you can't just go straight for that to teaching it, some dog advanced tricks or advanced stuff, and they can barely even sit and stay for more than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And same goes for your niche, which is make money online. People, especially in this niche, get so in their head about, oh, people are sick of hearing about marketing. It's all marketing, right? But the truth is that, remember back to the day, if you can, when you discovered that there was people who were on social media creating videos and making hundreds or thousands of dollars every single month. And you were like, oh my God. And I'm going to open every email I get about this because I want to read what everybody's doing. What's Josh doing? What's Matt doing? What's Joanne doing? What's Michael doing? What's Sam doing? How are these people doing this? And it's like, when I think back 10 years ago when I started doing that, I would open every email and I would read every freaking word of that email. Sometimes I'd read it twice and just like, what are they doing? I'd even look for little sidebar notes from some of my mentors when they would send out an email. I'd look for like the stuff they weren't saying. And I was like, what are they trying to get through here? What do I really feel like they're doing? So you've got marketers out here who are like, they're really sick of hearing from me. But the truth is like people who are in their very early stages are actually the total opposite. They're opening emails maybe twice, 3 times, and they're reading every letter. They're trying to read between the lines. Yep. And so this is what struck me as so powerful, because for those of you who don't know, Josh presented at our last virtual mastermind and talked a lot about re-engaging his email list, and how he had this big email list, re-engaged it, and started pulling huge amounts of revenue out of his email list. And there was just untapped revenue. And that's the piece for me that's so insanely powerful, is you have to go back and you have to remember, hey, these people want to learn very basic shit. And then from there, sure, maybe you've got a small percentage of people who are really interested in deeper level stuff, or heavier hitting high ticket stuff. But the truth is most people, they're hanging on every word. They want more from you. You've got to give it to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny that point you just made, that's really sticking with me, because since that mastermind, we've been on the road, with everything that's happening right now. We're semi-homeless, like you mentioned at the beginning. And so I haven't been emailing as consistently, but when I have, I realized, I didn't notice that at the time while I was doing it, but I just actually sat down a couple days ago and was like, okay, why is my email not really performing the way it was before? And it was because I went from this, third grade level, just speaking about the really basic things and hitting on people's basic pain points, to I made a transition. I don't know why I did it, but my emails started to get, more technical and like more advanced. And I was wondering why they weren't converting at the same rate. And I went back and looked, and I'm like, well, holy crap. I'm just in this one over here, I'm just talking about basic things like, hey, this is how this is literally, changing my life. Like I used to struggle with finances, now, because of affiliate marketing, I've been able to do X, Y, Z, just basic things in like getting started with affiliate marketing. And, those were converting like crazy. And now all of a sudden it's not converting. And I'm like, well, crap, I'm getting super technical here. I think I kind of fell into my own little trap. Like, okay, I spoke on email marketing. People are asking me questions about email marketing. I have to be this big email marketing guy now. And so I think I kind of like put pressure on myself to try and get better at my email marketing. And I changed what was already working. But So now I'm making the transition to go back to do what I was doing that got me those results. And again, I think it's the second time I've mentioned something similar now during this live. It's like, stop getting away from what's working, people. Like we all do it, and it's human nature for some reason to always try and see what the next thing is and figure out the next thing, or what do I do? Just focus more on what's already working. Double down on the things that are already working, and your business will consistently grow. Like do less of what's not working, do more of what is working. Like,
it sounds so simple. I know it sounds so simple, but dude,
yeah.
it's a huge reminder, and yeah, there's so many different psychological elements that are at play there. I don't know where to start sometimes, but I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's a good way to sum it up, is just, the ability to just not screw something up is a powerful trait of a good business owner. So I love
It
working with
sounds
Dave.
so weird when you say it like that, but
Yeah,
man, it's like, even in my
it's
9 to 5, we went through
yeah,
a recent transition and a whole internal restructuring because one of the big bosses lost focus. And it was like, you should have been focusing on how not to screw this up. Instead, you screwed it
right,
up, like, so
right. No,
it really
it's
is a
really
skill.
true. It's really true. It's really true. And, I've interviewed people to work in our marketing department, and I always steer clear from people who give off this sort of vibe or energy of like, hey, we can just revamp and redo and re. And I'm like, dude, if like, cool, but like, we're actually looking for people who don't want to screw up something that's working better than we'd ever imagined. And that's
Yeah.
why I have such an incredible love and value for like the team at Legendary too.
Yeah.
Is, Dave's really given off a huge vision um, of, hey, we're going to be steady and rock steady, and we'll outlast everybody who comes in and says whatever they want to say about us or creates competing products. We'll just outlast them, and we'll keep updating our products and serving our customers well. And then the team, like the leadership team and the people who are in management, are so bought into that vision that it's really hard to screw it up. I mean, it's really hard, whether, sometimes Dave will bring up an idea, or I'll bring up an idea, or Julie will bring up an idea or something, in our like leadership team or whatever. And there's such accountability between us about, like, I'll bring up some marketing idea, and they're just like, dude, like, no, that would be dumb. That would be a huge like diversion from what our core thing is, and we'll go down the whole road. I mean, we got so deep into developing a website builder, a page builder, and looked into all these different options and all this stuff. And finally, we just kind of looked around and we said, we're not a software company. We just closed the door on it. That's not
Yeah.
that's not who we are. It's not what we do. And so we've been distracted before with other sort of brand deals and different things, and all that it's ever done is hurt Legendary. And so
Yeah.
it's why I have such a value of what we do. And sometimes I think, for a marketing company, some of that seems and feels maybe a little bit boring. But the truth is there's something really good working here. And in terms of both the marketing angles, but also the offer, and also just the level of kind of company support and stuff like that. And so, we get criticism sometimes from people who are brand new, and they kind of start out with Legendary, and maybe they have one off, I don't know, maybe a bad experience with support, or maybe a bad experience with me or something. And they're like, oh man, they don't really support you that well. And then they go to other people in this industry. They go to other companies, and
Yeah.
they're
You
like,
want to
oh
find out what
shit,
bad
like,
support is.
it is. I've just discovered what really bad support looks like.
Yeah.
There's a lot of individuals or just people who are. It's like a guy and his mom. Like the support team is his mom, and or his wife or something, and it's just them two. And it's literally like, you ask for a refund, and it's like, no, we're not going to refund you. You got to jump through 18 hoops to get a refund and all this stuff. And then suddenly you discover, oh, this isn't really a business. This is just a dude who has a merchant account open, and is trying to huck some sort of product. and it really is like a little bit sketchy.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Where I was going with that was, I don't know where you were at before that, but this slow and steady and doing what's working has been basically the theme of the last few years here at Legendary. And I think doubling down on that has really worked.
Yeah, and I think that's why I identify with Legendary, and it's so natural for me to keep you guys as, you know, my core offer, is because you said something there at the start of all that last little round of what you were saying, and I hope people caught it. You know, there, you mentioned Legendary is just continually outlasting everybody else, and I think that's kind of the reason behind my success. Like, a lot of people see me on TikTok and a big following, and they think it, you know, it all happened overnight and it was just like this consistent thing. But really, at the end of the day, you know, it's more so I've just been able to outlast a lot of people. And
Mm-hmm.
now, you know, I'm looked at, I don't even realize it sometimes. I don't even realize it until, you know, I create a post talking about the truth behind the Legendary 15-day challenge and why, you know, sometimes you see people, what did I say? The truth, I don't even remember. The truth behind Legendary 15-day challenge. And I think I've got like over 100 people now who have duetted that video. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, I didn't even realize that many people looked at me as an authority, like, in this industry. And, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's, people don't realize that the biggest, one of the biggest keys to your success in entrepreneurship and in this online business is like, are you in it for the long term? Are you willing to do what it takes to outlast the competition? The
That's
ones
right.
who outlast, the ones who stay consistent and keep pushing forward when things get hard, are the ones who experience the long term results. And that's just, at the end of the day, you have to be willing to do what other people aren't willing to do, and you have to outlast people. And
Yep.
eventually you'll get to a point where things just start flowing for you. And, you know, posting on TikTok becomes second nature for you. Like, in my
Yep.
business, like, if I want to grow my business, I got to post 2 to 3 times a day. You know, that's it. I got to email my list every single day. Like, if that's, those are the two things that I've identified in my business. That's literally all I have to do. And now I can get that done in sometimes 15 minutes. Most of the time it's between a half hour to an hour, but like,
Yeah.
you know, so it's just
Damn.
about being consistent and just, you got to outlast.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing pretty about it. People want the pretty, you know, they want the pretty, they want the fun solution. You know what? Success most of the time is not fun. The success at the end of the line is fun, but the process is not. And it's 90% about the process, you know, is,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it's just mundane, and you just got to keep pushing through and be willing to do things when you don't feel like it.
Totally.
So there's your
Totally.
secret, everybody. You've been waiting for a secret from me. Do the dirty work. Get down and
Yeah.
dirty, okay? And do it consistently over and over and over again.
That's right. Damn. So, I love that, by the way. So you will be at our mastermind, right?
Yes. Yep.
In
Next
3
month.
weeks.
3 weeks. Is it that fast
3
already? Wow. Coming up
um
quick.
so Josh is going to speak at our upcoming mastermind in Florida, and you're going to probably hear a little bit more of this, I would guess. And I'll be there. I'm excited to meet you in person. Should be a great time, man.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I appreciate you all having me on, and it's going to be fun. That's for sure. Getting to actually meet you all in person now. You know, I've met you a few times like this, but, you know, in
Yeah.
person, you can't beat that type of stuff. So,
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm going to put up your TikTok. Thanks for coming on, Josh. We'll have you back maybe for like a 5th and 6th time after the mastermind.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool, man. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks
Well,
for coming
thank
on,
you
man.
again
Have
very
a good
much,
rest of your
and
day.
thank you to the
Oh,
community.
yeah.
So we'll see you.
See ya. All right, guys. I've got his TikTok up here. It is the Dad Trepreneur. So it's THE Dad DAD TREPRENEWER. The Dad Trepreneur. Pretty easy to find. You can find him on TikTok. That's probably the best place to go find him. If you search the Dad Trepreneur on Pinterest, you can also go find him on Pinterest. I'll throw that up real quick, and if you want to pause the video on a replay or whatever to see his Pinterest, you can go check him out there. But yeah, go give him a follow. Let him know what stood out to you from today's episode. What did you learn? What was important? What was impactful? Because as you heard, Josh is pretty tuned into what are followers liking to hear, or what do they need to hear? What are they listening for? And he's a good marketer, and so he could use your feedback on that. So go give him a follow on TikTok. Let him know you saw him on Wake Up Legendary. And guys, we'll be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. We've got another guest lined up. In fact, I was gonna go look at our guest list. I don't have the tab pulled open, but our guest list is pretty packed. And I think while I've got you all here, Joanne, could you paste for me the link to the questionnaire? I can't remember where it is. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Thank you. If you want to, if you're still here, we still got a lot of people on the live. If you want to be featured on Wake Up Legendary, maybe you got 10,000 followers on TikTok, or you grew a huge social media following, or maybe you've made your first $100 or something like that. You don't have to have a massive result, and it can be in any niche. We'd love to have you on the show. And, a lot of the times the people that we get to be on the show are affiliates of ours, but that's only because we can really only track that. Like, that's the only people that we can actually do some tracking on and be like, hey, you made $100 or whatever. But we'd love to expand and share the successes of people outside of this niche and outside of this industry, and see how people have taken this training and, used it in real estate and in investing, or in dog training, or in motivation, health and fitness, all sorts of different niches in industry. So right here, legendarymarketer.com/featured. And it's just a little questionnaire that you can fill out. Let me see if I can pull this out open, and let me make sure that this link actually works. The link actually does work. Hooray. You can recommend somebody else, or you can recommend yourself, and we would love for you to do that. We're probably booked out 3 to 4 weeks, so we don't have a lot, we don't have a huge need for that, but we do want to give you the opportunity if you'd like to be featured. There's no guarantee that we're going to feature you. Filling that out is no guarantee that you'll even get an email response or a phone call or anything like that. If we don't respond to you, don't take it personally. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll have to validate sort of your results somehow before bringing you on the show. But fill it out, legendarymarketer.com/featured. And there we go. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern.